Some cases make no sense at all. Imagine you are a successful medicine student about to graduate medical school. Life seems perfect, or at least on a path to perfection. This is Ivy Wangechi. She was a medical student just about to graduate medical school with her whole life ahead. But on April 2019, just a few months to her graduation, she was hacked to death outside the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret in broad daylight. An incident that was shocking on a myriad of levels. The events that would follow would lead to the arrest of Naftali KInuthia, a systems administrator at a betting company in Kenya. What could have led to such a horrific turn of events? Could it have been a case of a love affair gone sour? Or was this a crime of passion? A lot of questions still remain unanswered to date. This is the full story of Ivy Wangechi and her bizarre death. Ivy Wangechi attended school at Joyland Academy in Gatanga, Marenga County. This is where she first schooled together with Naftali KInuthia, who developed a crush on her from childhood all the way since primary school. According to Joyland Academy head teacher James Machiru, Ivy would later be transferred to another primary school in Thika town where she completed her primary education. Wangechi, a bright student as described by Mr. Machiru, would later join Alliance High School, where she scored straight A's in her Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations in 2011, securing her a spot in Moi University to study medicine and surgery. Both Ivy and Naftali hailed from Shomo village before Wangechi's family relocated to Makangini Phase 10, Thika town. However, behind this beautiful and well-educated, brilliant African woman was a problem that had stalked her since childhood and would deny her the chance to celebrate her 25th birthday by taking her out with an axe. That problem was Naftali KInuthia. You see, Naftali KInuthia was a successful young man who was a systems administrator at a betting company in Nairobi. Naftali worked hard, and neither did he drink nor party with friends. Instead, he enjoyed his introverted way of life. He was known to be a quiet guy who only talked when talked to, a trait that had stuck with him since childhood. Naftali first set his eyes on Ivy while schooling at Joyland Academy, and just like any young boy, he was wowed by her stunning beauty, but could do nothing about it then. So the only thing that stuck with him as he joined Nyandarua High School was a crush feeling and an infatuation. With no access to social media then, the two were separated by their school distance, denying Naftali the chance to express his feelings. Gladly, Naftali would not forget Ivy's angelic face, and fate would have them meet again after high school since they both now lived in Thika town. Naftali came from a wealthy business family based in Thika that owns apartments and trades under the name Bemwa, a family empire started by his grandfather, which also owned Bemwa Bookshop. In short, Naftali was a cool kid, and it is with this front that he used to woo a beautiful Ivy to be his girlfriend since he was a shy and introverted guy. He did let his money do the talking by taking her on expensive dates with the perception that it would make her fall in love with him. But for Ivy, Naftali was not her type, one of the reasons being he was short. She did not think much of him and was only enjoying free gifts until she joined campus in 2012 for her medical studies. This story gets creepy at this point. In Ivy's mind, she probably thought Naftali would forget about her. However, that wouldn't be the case because Naftali was hypnotized and blinded by her beauty. According to him, she was the only woman meant for him, and he would stop at nothing until he won her heart despite being rejected severally. Ivy would start her new life in Eldoret, and with time she made new friends as she pursued her passion in medicine. She would later find love in a fellow student in medical school. So by the time Naftali finds her, years later through Facebook, Ivy was already in a relationship with someone else. This, however, was nothing to Naftali, who after establishing contact went back to his love language of money. He would send her money frequently, hoping that Ivy would consider him. Naftali was so obsessed with Ivy to the point that he would make persistent moves to win Wangechi's love. According to Ivy's friends, he had been stalking her for a year leading up to her death. The friends claim he had traveled to Eldoret several times, but she declined to meet him. Even when she warned him to stop sending her money and other gifts, he still wouldn't stop. On the 9th of April, 2019, Ivy was full of joy because she was turning a year older the next day, marking her 25th birthday. At this point, her life was perfect, or at least should have been perfect. Not only because it was her birthday, but because she was in her final year and about to graduate in December. She went on to plan her birthday party with a calculated budget of 28,000 Kenya shillings. Naftali, as always, promised to fully fund it, but first sent her 14,000 Kenya shillings, offering to deliver the rest on her birthday. Sadly, after receiving the money, Ivy told him that he wasn't invited to the party and he should stop pestering her, since she had a boyfriend. This is where things take a huge twist. Naftali could not believe it, as Ivy added salt to his injury by blocking his number, which infuriated him even more. How could she do that to him after all he had spent on her? He felt betrayed, and with an axe in his possession decided to travel to Eldoret. A 3 a.m. journey that would catalyze his emotions, because as soon as he arrived at the school, just as Ivy had completed taking her practical at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, when her long-term crush pounced on her as she walked out of the facility in company of her colleagues. The assailant pulled an axe out of a sack, hit Ivy on the head before pulling out a knife and slitting her throat in one of the most horrifying incidents involving love affairs gone sour. A scary scene that would prompt onlookers to descend on Naftali as he attempted to flee the scene, only to be rescued by the police from the mob. It wasn't until December 14th, 2023, about 4 years since Ivy's murder, that Naftali was sentenced to 40 years in prison for the murder. The tragic story of Ivy Wangechi serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers of unchecked obsession and the devastating consequences of unrequited love. What do you guys think about this case? Let me know down in the comment section. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell button so you never miss another episode. See you next time, and always stay safe.